1998 ex-military vehicle. Someone's after attention. We learned to be quite careful with water coming from the boats. Are you blocking cameras again? You're the star of the show, eh? No, he's such a needy dog.
Lancer!
Quiet, get in your bed. He doesn't want to be left out, but then he doesn't want to stay still.
Hi guys, welcome back to another Liberation video. Today we are speaking to Matt and Paige.
They're living in the big red truck called Daphne, so we hope you enjoy the video, and in the comments let us know if you've ever seen a dog do this.
We're Matt and Paige, and this is Lancer, and we live in our Leyland Daphne the Daf, and we've been doing this for about 6 months. And before this, we were sailing yachts and living on those. So Daphne is a ex-army Leyland Daf T244. She's 1998. She's from mothballed stock or reserve stock. So the army buys a load of them in case of emergencies, in case war breaks out and stuff, and puts a lot into storage. So she's only got around 5,000 miles on the clock. Apart from now the clock's broken, so I can't keep track of it anymore. But that's about what she started at. Probably full time about 6 months now.
We bought Daphne back in August, and then Matt spent 3 months doing her up from.
Yeah.
She was just an empty shell. So Matt literally laid at the side of her in a sleeping bag for 3 months, did the whole build, and then as soon as we were ready, we kind of set off. So yeah. 6 months in total, probably.
So I came out of the military in 2009 after serving 5 years. I got numerous different jobs, normal standard 9 to 5 kind of stuff, and then did some lorry driving. It's where I got the HGV license. And then I was working for another company driving a van for about four years. Going from being in the military where you kind of got a lot to do to these kind of 9 to 5 jobs took quite a toll on my mental health, and I actually got quite down and depressed. So eventually in 2016 we actually I was trying to get back into my outdoor activities because that kind of fell at the wayside while I was not feeling so well. So one of the things to get back into it, we decided to walk across Scotland from Malag to Aberdeen, which then meant that we had to train for that. So that's what kind of got me going again. And then when we did the walk, it kind of cleared my mind, and that's when we both decided that probably the best course of action would be we decided to sell up. We had 2 cars and a mortgage and all the normal things you have. We sold everything up, and we brought a Contest 41, which is a yacht, a sailing yacht, and we sailed that to the Caribbean and back. Not straight there and back, we did it slowly. That took us about 2 years. And then from there we came back, sold the Contest, and brought a Dickies of Tarbert gaff ketch. We sailed her around for about 2 years, and of course the dreaded COVID came, which stopped us from really sailing around, and we kind of took that as the time to start rebuilding the boat. So I stripped her out and we started to rebuild that boat. That's kind of the big project I've got going on in the back, so that'll take me quite a few years. That's kind of the plan. So we've got Daphne, and that's where we're living at the moment. We drive and travel with her, and then I'm doing the boat up as well. And then that allows us that probably in 10, 20 years, we can move back onto the boat, and we'd like to see the Pacific and stuff by boat by then. So that's kind of the plan. Well, he's had enough. Back in your seat, go on, and sit. So we chose Daphne because the ability to carry weight, so I didn't want to be restricted to 3.5 tons. She weighs in around 8 or 9 tons, but it allows me to be able to not worry about carrying water. We wanted quite a bit of space as well for Paige.
Yeah, so I'm a graphic designer, so I work normal 9 to 5 sort of through the week, but I get to do it in these places, so it does mean that I don't really know how to explain it. It's a lot more freedom. And Daphne as well, we don't have to be, we're not stuck to campsites and everything. We like to be off the beaten track. So getting up mountains, and we want to do them like Morocco and in the deserts and things like that. We don't want to be in the campsite. So I guess that's why another reason we wanted to go with Daphne rather than a normal motorhome was that we can go to places that not everyone can go. And because we built it from scratch as well, we've built it exactly how we wanted to. We weren't having to pick and choose like what we wanted and what we didn't want. So yeah, Daphne's kind of the perfect vehicle for us at the minute. And Lance has a lot of room as well. He likes being out here. We can sit on the roof. We've got solar power and everything ready for me for work. In fact, we can't use enough power at the minute. Matt's complaining because he's got to do a test, but the batteries are up at 99% all the time.
Yeah, I can't seem to drain them down low enough. So this is Daphne. She's a Matt and Daf built in 1998, ex-military vehicle. Someone's after attention. So down this side we've got the black box at the back. There's an IMAS boiler, so it's an on-demand gas boiler. It's one of the only things the LPG feeds. And then we've got the dreaded door for the cassette there, get to the toilet. And then underneath here, this is where the wastewater tanks sit, and there's the LPG gas tank. Yeah, good sized tank. And my sticker wall. So on this side, we've got the main door, of course. The PU12 sits there, stands for a push-up 12. It's 12-metre mast with a 4G antenna on. At the moment, we've got Starlink just sat on top, and then we have 700 watts of solar on top as well, keep it all powered. And then we've got a little garage door and a shower on the back there, and then the Thule awning as well. We've got the jerry cans on top. The 3 black ones are carrying diesel, and the green one carries petrol for the generator. And then we've got the black box at the back. It's got all my outdoor equipment in it, so a lot of my bushcraft kit, and then some of our snorkel kit and stuff like that as well. And everyone likes to see this one, so I'll get it. This is the PU12, which is the extending mast. Not needed so much now we've got the Starlink, but when we want to use the 4G, I can. It's got another 3 parts, so it can go up another 3 times. So the cab, so for the military, it normally has the 3 seats. We removed the middle one. You can see the turret ring, so you can open up that and then stand out. It's another way up. And then there's also space at the back for, there would be normally a bed there. That's gone, but I carry all my spare tools at the moment at the back there. And then this side is his bed for Lancer, so he can sit up there with us. So in the back of here, I've got my tools. They'll eventually go into the storage boxes I'll be putting on the back, where I'm going to fit the spare wheel carrier. At the moment, I don't have a way of carrying a spare wheel. Yeah, so this is the garage. So we've got all sorts of bits of kit in here. So that just allows underneath the bed. So another way, so this is where we keep all the chairs and stuff like that. But the bed's lifting, so when we go inside, I can show you underneath it a bit from that angle as well. Then we got, that's just an outdoor shower, mainly used for cleaning him when he's been swimming. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, he's in the cab again. When he's been swimming in mud. It's piped into the normal water system. And all it is this connection. When you turn it, this controls the temperature. So about there, and then all it is a little shower. So can you say if we've been swimming in the sea, we can wash off salt and stuff, or as I said, mostly we use it for cleaning the dog when he's got himself muddy. There we go, and then that just goes back in here, out of the way again. It was just an extra bit that was worth fitting, so especially as he gets himself muddy hunting and stuff. So yeah, so we carry this fire pit, really good bit of kit, and then, well, I've just got my bushcraft axe out at the moment because we've been processing down some wood for the fire. We've been here a few days now. And then just underneath this one is this side is the fuel tank. So I replaced the original with an extended fuel tank, 200 litres, and then that's the 24 volt batteries for the cab for running the engine and stuff. So I guess the biggest bit for us was power. Because Paige has to work quite a bit using a laptop, we needed quite a good capacity for power. So we carry 2 Roma 460 amp hour batteries, giving us 920 in total, and then 700 watts of solar on top. I also carry a generator in case I do need to back it up.
So obviously I use a lot of power with having my laptop on all the time, but as much as we like being outdoors and we'll go for hikes throughout the day, sometimes at night we're gamers as well, so I mean, that allows us to play whatever games we want and just keep the laptops running for as long as we want. Also with the Starlink now, we can play online games in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we got the Skylink about a week ago now. Starlink, sorry. Starlink. Yeah. I keep saying Skylink. I'm thinking of Terminator.
Skynet, isn't it?
Yeah. The Starlink, and that's been a game changer. I mean, here right now we've got no phone signal or anything, but that still allows us to connect to the internet and work. We're getting around 200 megabytes a second here, so gaming's quite easy. And for Paige's work, that's more than enough. And then the rest of being able to go off grid. So water was a big one. So we carry just short of 400 litres, 370 litres in 2 tanks. We learned to be quite careful with water coming from the boats. Are you blocking cameras again? Yeah, star of the show, eh? We like wild swimming, so that helps as well. So we can go for a swim instead, especially when the weather's nice and sunny. And then we've got an underslung LPG tank, which gives us 100 litres. It's 100 litre capacity, so you can use 80%, so 80 litres. I estimate we've probably got about 10 months worth of gas, because all we use is that for heating water and cooking. We can last about 2 weeks off grid without needing anything. The only downside and the problem we have is the toilet. So I didn't do too much research. I'm not very good at researching stuff, so I just went away and just kind of built it as we went. So I've put in the standard cassette toilet. Looking back, maybe a composting toilet would have been better, but that's a problem for another day now. And then I guess fuel is the only big one. I mean, Daphne uses a lot of fuel. We increased it to a 200 litre tank, which lasts us quite a while. It depends how much you're going to drive, to be honest. And then we run our heating off that, but it's just a normal diesel heater that doesn't really use much diesel. And then, as you can see, we've got the jerry cans. With all of that, we can last quite a while off grid at the moment. Well, after I left the military and couldn't really settle down, we decided to go travelling again. And that's when we kind of decided that living in a house isn't for us. Not against people that do, everyone to their own, and a lot of people look at us in a strange way. But we never intend to return to a house. We'll probably, after Daphne, move back onto the yacht once I've rebuilt it. And the yacht should then outlast us, so we can live on that for the rest of our lives. And that's really the plan. We just don't, it's mainly me. I get bored if I stay in one place for too long. I can do a couple of months, but after that I get restless, so I have to get moving again. Finance-wise, it depends on how far you're going, how much you're pushing it. Like the fuel, we budget £500 a month for fuel. So as you can see, that's quite a bit, but it's still less we would pay in rent. Other than that, there's not really many other bills we do have to pay. Insurance is around £800 a year, and then the rest is really food. It depends on, again, if you're gonna eat as cheap as you can, or if you want to be going out for meals in new places and stuff like that. And we budget what?
£100 a week, but that's obviously we're over budget just because then you can go out if you fancy a meal or anything. But I think from our bills there's not really anything. I mean, we obviously don't have gas and electric as like a normal house does. We've got that gas tank which we filled up when we first did it, so they last about it's lasted about 6
the gas
months.
tank I just refilled, and that was £35 for filling about half of it. So
water, a lot of places you can either just give them a little bit of money or they'll let you fill water for free. Obviously we need to pay for internet, so the Skylink, because we've got the Roam one, it's a little bit more expensive. It's £85 a month, so we obviously need the internet, but we create our own power, so that's not an issue for us. So we take tins of food and things like that, so that when we're in these places and we don't want to go shopping for fresh food, we've just got, you know, a pack of super noodles. That doesn't sound that interesting, but
it does the job.
When we're out here, it's, you know, it's fine, and we'll go back and get some fresh food, and we've got a little freezer so we can freeze meats and things that we need. But we don't really have any bills as such. Definitely not like a normal house.
No, I mean it's quite a bit cheaper. I bet, I reckon, about 1,500 a month is good for us.
People do ask why we do it and why we don't just settle down. That's the biggest question. Why don't you want to settle down? I guess it sounds really cliche, but you never know what's around the corner. So why not just live as fast and well as you can? Like, why not explore the mountains? So I used to do the 9 till 5 job. I'd go home, cook dinner, clean, go to bed, and that was my life until the weekends, and then we'd repeat it all the next week. So this allows me to finish work and go for a hike. There's a lot of freedom to it, I guess, and I don't know what else to say.
I guess the freedom's the big bit.
We just move our house where we want to go, so instead of getting bored of the neighbours or bored of what we're seeing, we can park in the middle of a mountain or on a mountain range or in a desert, and we're still being able to work and do whatever, but in these beautiful places, I guess. And it's like people book a week holiday here and there, but we're kind of able to live it. Instead of going for a week to Greece, we can go and live in Greece for a little while, for the 3 months that it'll allow us to do. And then we got to move on, but you know, it's kind of homes where Daphne is.
The other one, of course, is price. People ask that quite often, and it's a hard one to equate. And again, it's a hard one to explain because everyone has different ways of living. We spend quite a bit of money. I mean, Paige works because she's graphic designer freelance. We make quite good money doing this. You could do this for very cheap, and there are people that do. We don't have to, so that's a good part for us. So I think the biggest challenge and difference from being on the yachts is actually the cassette, the toilet. I should have done more research. It's okay at the moment, but we've probably got a few days and we'll have to go find somewhere to empty that. It's the running problem, and it's not one I really thought about as much as I should have done.
But I guess the other thing, coming from sailing, so you can anchor anywhere when you sail. I mean, obviously not on coral reefs and things, but you can find an island and go, this is protected from the weather, and we'll go anchor there. But with the van life, I guess, there's a lot of places where you can't park or where you just have to be sensible about it. But a lot of the places are now closed off that would have been beautiful, but they haven't been really respected, I guess, and it's closed it off.
Right, shall we take a step inside? So welcome inside. This is our living quarters. So we've got quite a bit of space in these because they're 2.5 meters wide. So they give you a good amount of space to build. So at the back we've got a standard double bed. And as you saw from the outside, we can get underneath it. So I put a hydraulic lifter on it. So we've got boxes in here for storage, and you can also lift them out to get inside as well, into the garage area. And then I built cupboards on either side as well for clothing, just trying to make good use of all the space as we can. And then there's a skylight so you can lay in bed and look up.
This is my favourite point because we've got the big window here and then 2 windows either side, because originally we were going to do just 1 window, weren't we? Because sometimes obviously we'll be on a tilt, so we have to switch which way our heads go around. So we've now got a big window this side, a big window that side, our big hatch here. So no matter where you are, it kind of feels like you're sleeping in the woodland or wherever you are. So we have this hatch open, these 2 windows right wide, and it's just kind of like camping but undercover because it's Scotland, unless you have this open.
Then we're coming to the kitchen. So literally the kitchen's just made out of IKEA units. So this is the normal stuff you can buy at IKEA, and the wardrobe here is just an IKEA cupboard as well. And then I've just used a normal wooden worktop and cut that down to size. And then we've got a Thetford oven and grill. Nice bit of kit really, a nice big sink as well. And then the cupboards above, just for a bit more storage. Design is mainly on Paige's side.
For the design, I wanted to keep it really light and bright because it makes it feel a lot bigger. I've seen a few different designs where it's quite dark and it makes it feel a little bit claustrophobic, so I wanted to keep it as bright and open as we could. I wanted to go for farmhouse sort of style, which is why we've gone with all this wood and these sort of style of the sink and everything. But at the same time with Morna, I wanted to bring a little bit of her into it, which is why we've trimmed around the outside with her rigging rope. Actually, this is hers. And then obviously we've got the Morna corner. The rope is Morna's actual rigging. And
then we've got the wet room here. So this is the toilet, and then a shower inside as well, and sink and all of that. And this seals with a normal sliding door. So it allows you to have a shower and that. And because we've got the near 400 litres of water, you can have a few showers before we run out. We do have the 2 max air fans here as well. We normally have one set for pulling air in and one pushing air out, so you can make quite a nice flow of air in here. So we've got the table here and the 2 benches. Under each chair is a water tank, so that's what gives us our near 400 litres, so 175 under each one. The reason I raised it up is so the tanks end to about here, so it also gives us some storage underneath as well. And then we've got the Morna corner, is where Paige likes to call it, and that's where it's just 2 pictures. These are actually ones from her. So this is Morna outside of Castle in 1926. It was painted, so they came with the boat, and we'll keep them around. And then behind this one, so the table drops down, so it's got a folding leg and disconnects there, which turns this into another bed as well, so we can have when we have guests. And then we've got the good old alcohol cupboard there, and so need that, especially with up in Scotland at the moment. This is the router for the Starlink at the moment. Behind this chair at the back, so underneath all of this, is the 2 batteries. So the 2 batteries sit at the bottom, and then all the electrics are there as well. And then these 2 cupboards, my Victron equipment's in here, so it runs all the solar and stuff. And then this one's just for like coats. It's like the wet room, not wet room, but what? Yeah, cloakroom. That's what I like, the cloakroom. It's all the coats and that in there. So, and then we went for this Vitra fridge, nice good size. So it's got quite a good size fridge. That's the freezer in the top, and then the diesel heater I've put inside as well, and that sits underneath this sink. So
this is where I spend most of my days, just on my computer. I'm not sure if Matt showed, but the desk slips forwards and back, so I can have it right up whilst I'm at work all day, and then I've got my nice office view. For gaming, Matt sits here and I sit here, and we have both our laptops kind of opposite, so we just sit. This is again our gaming table. It's like the social area, I guess, and again we can have the window open, and it's yeah, it's just perfect. I guess my favourite thing is I can be on a Teams call or at work like I would be, but I have these sort of views, so I can have the windows open, or I could be sat outside on my laptop. After work I can then go for a walk up in the mountains. We can sit out at night, have a barbecue. My worst bit, probably, I don't know really what the worst bit is.
Well, I can tell my worst bit is probably that cassette again, the toilet. Finding places to empty that thing.
I guess that is, you have to plan ahead, like you do have to plan your routes, right? We need to go and get food, we need to go and get water, so we need gas or whatever it is. So there is more planning to if you're just going at home at night where you don't have to worry about your water supply. You can have a shower as long as you want if you've got a really good water supply, whereas we have to kind of limit those sort of things. But I guess that's the price you pay for just living like this. And it's not a massive price to pay, you just have to be a little bit more careful.
I guess the favourite bit for me is going back to why we originally do it, is the freedom of it. It's, once I get bored of a place, I can move on and go somewhere new, and there's always places, new places to go and see and visit. And then, like I said, the worst bit is the cassette, the toilet, really. It's but that's part of life. It's something. It's not always going to be perfect, so it's something we've got to live with. So my advice would be, if you're thinking about it, is just to go for it. It's anything worth doing is normally quite scary. So do some research. You don't have to do loads, because that's how I always live anyway. I've not done much, but it's people are out there doing it, which proves that it's doable. So people are living out there. Some people are living out there just on savings and spending hardly any money. Some people are out there living in lorries like 4 times the size of this, which with ridiculous amounts of money. And there's everything in between. And it's if you want to do something like this, then just go for it.
I'd say the main worry from people who look at us, they always ask, what's your job, how do you travel, and how do you get the funds? Because that is the main like if you're living a 9 to 5, you can't really see how you can do that and live in a truck. And since COVID, actually, a lot of jobs you can do remotely now. I mean, I'm lucky that I can do graphics from anywhere, but there's so many other job opportunities that anyone can really work remotely. So as long as you just have a look and you're kind of flexible and you're not set in your ways, it's doable for anyone.
I mean, we've met quite a few people who have done different ways. So there's people that do just seasonal work. So I teach bushcraft part-time, so bushcraft and survival. And we have a few people there that do the same thing. They live in vans and they'll just do the seasonal work, teaching stuff, and then they'll save up and go away again. And there's ways, if you've got skills or if you've just got the right mindset, there's always need for labour in places, so you can find work while you're doing it.
Some places you can, if you want to stay on campsites and things like that, they offer, so you can go and do a few days work with them and they'll let you stay for free. There's people who do, they'll fix bits up and things like that. I guess that's more on the yachty side. You could walk around and people would say, well, if you scrub my hull, we'll give you this amount. So that's what you could do. And you can kind of do that side of things on the lorries, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's definitely remote work for anyone, any skill set, as long as you're flexible.
Yeah. So if you want to follow us and see what we do, you can follow us on Instagram. We've got at Daphne the Daf. If you want to see what we did before on the yachts, we do have a YouTube channel there. It's Living with the Tide. We have that on Instagram as well, so you can see what we did on the yachts. And I think that's it. And I hope you enjoyed learning more about our lifestyle. And
thanks for watching.
I guess I don't know.
You just trailed off.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if I needed to do the full outro bit.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks to Matt and Paige for showing us around.
If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe.
See you in the next one.